Well, hey everybody, I'm John Ritlin. This is my review of NWA Powerrr Episode 5. Really fun episode. All the episodes have been pretty goddamn good. Now, don't get me wrong, there have been some that have been better than others, but this has been consistently entertaining. An hour or a little bit less than an hour. It's just easily digestible, and it tells some good stories and builds some good stories and has some great talent involved, even if they're squash matches or just really quick matches. It's just a way to just make the program matter more, and I'm so happy to see the NWA rising back into prominence. I can't wait to see the Into the Fire pay-per-view. It's going to be happening soon. I can't wait to order that. But about this episode, recaps of Eli Drake stirring the pot with Tim Storm, James Storm, Lance Storm, everybody Storm. No, it's actually just the first two, Tim and James, but others also, because he's such a great talker. That's what he's able to do, and you know what he's doing. He's trying to stir the pot and get everybody interested, and focused on him because he's going to be feuding with all these guys. But still, this was good stuff. And I love the Into the Fire song. Really great way to get everybody hyped. And then we have a Colt Cabana interview. He mentions how he's 100%. He's going to get his shot at James Storm for the national championship tonight. And that's what he's going to do. He has an interview. Really great hype, way to hype it. And then he goes off, and then Aaron Stevens has an interview. Does the whole silence thing, all that. Mentions that he's attended William Shakespeare. Crowd boos him. And he just keeps cutting them down, stuff like that. So it was pretty good stuff. And then we have Nick Aldis with a Retromania wrestling ad. At least it wasn't like the Austin Idol drinking ad last week. That was uncomfortable. But Aldis talking about video games and, this Retromania wrestling. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. And hey, more wrestling games. Cool. And then we get the Dawsons versus Matthew Mims and Jordan Kingsley. Mims and Kingsley getting a couple shots, but the Dawsons win easily. Easily. Fucking smoke them here. And then they have an interview afterwards and said, hey, it was a no DQ match. We beat Eddie Kingston and Homicide. We want a shot at the tag team champions, the wild card. Kingston and Homicide come out. Say, yeah, it was no DQ. Sure, they interfered, but still, due to the stipulation, you did beat us. But we still have that title shot. We will put that title shot up against you to get, to have a match against you tonight. Dawson say, we'll think about it. Okay, cool. We then get a Tim Storm interview, and Joe Galli's interviewing him. He's talking about what his future is. Not sure he has much of a future since he can no longer challenge for the 10 pounds of gold, but there's a national championship shot. There's there's tag titles. And Tim Storm seems distraught because, getting back into wrestling and everything and becoming a wrestler, getting back into the ring and everything recently in the past few years, he was able to be the NWA champion. Now that he can no longer have it, he doesn't know what his future will be. Aldis takes him to the side and says, Joe, wait, I got this. You don't need to listen to Eli Drake or anybody. You need to listen to yourself. Without you, there is no this. You and I helped build this. Do not forget that. And cool. It was good stuff, and it seemed real. They really have had a great rivalry. They really have. Aldis and Storm have had a really good rivalry. Classic rivalry. I think that if Aldis loses the championship at some point, possibly at Into the Fire, we'll see. Maybe we get Tim Storm and Nick Aldis going after the tag team championships. Who knows? But then we get Thunder Rosa versus Ashley Vox, and I'm going to show you, there was that shirt back there. I met Thunder Rosa at Without a Cause show, the first ever Without a Cause show last October. That was October last year. Her and Priscilla Kelly put on a great match, and I gotta say this, pardon me, I really I'm so happy. I'm so proud to see the success that Thunder Rosa's had. Not that as a fan, I've obviously had nothing to do with it. I just enjoy the fact that I've been able to cheer her on and see her improve so much in just the last year alone, but especially over the last few years. Her work in Lucha Underground, working all over the country, just doing so many great things and improving. If you follow her on social media, she works extremely hard, puts in the effort, and I'm so happy to see the success she's having, not just in the NWA, but all over the country. Can't wait to see how she grows as a performer. And she faced Ashley Vox. Now, last week, after Ashley Vox and Marty Bell had a match, Thunder Rosa showed up. My only complaint about the production is the loud drums. And it's cool that they accompany Thunder Rosa, gives her kind of a mysterious vibe and everything, but it's too loud. They need to, and that's the fault in the production, not Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa is great. I think so. I'm going to stand by that. But after showing up and everything and offering Marty Bell her hand, like handshake, she didn't take it. Thunder Rosa faces Ashley Vox this week. Good match. Ashley got in some shots, did pretty well, but Thunder Rosa worked on her back, got in some really, really good moves, and in the end, hit a double stomp, 1, 2, 3, hit some really, really nice chops earlier in the match as well. This was good stuff. It was short, but both women got a chance to shine. Thunder Rosa shined, of course, the most because they were trying to push her. I think Ashley Vox can be a nice underneath babyface they can build up. And so, cool. She, Thunder Rosa wins, continues to beat down on Ashley, and Marty Bell shows up. And Thunder Rosa holds her hey, you want to beat her up? You want to beat her up? Thunder Rosa's trying to get in her head. But then, Thunder Rosa decides to leave. And then we go to commercial, and Marty Bell's out there cutting a promo and says about Allison Kay. She mentioned her recently and says, okay, wait, I'm not on your level. I'm one of your best friends. I'm a close friend of yours. What the hell is this? Allison Kay comes out, wants to talk to her. Suddenly Thunder Rosa blindsides her, beats her up, throws her into the ring, and, beats her up a little bit, but then does the same thing she did with Ashley earlier, holding her head, to Marty Bell. Hey, you gonna hit her? You gonna hit her? And Marty Bell's like, no, I'm not gonna hit her, and then clocks Allison Kay. So we get a bit of a heel turn. And the drum thing start up. So Thunder Rosa worming her way into Marty Bell's head. And if you're going to get a tag team, I think it's a nice way. Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell could be a hell of a tag team if that's the route they're going. Thunder Rosa versus Allison Kay, though, if that's going to happen into the fire, I'm not so sure about the rest of the tapings. Please don't spoil them in the comments. But I can't, if that's going to be building up at the pay-per-view, I can't wait for it. I think that's going to be great. So it was what it was, and I'm really, really happy once again for Thunder Rosa's success. But now we have an Aaron Stevens interview, and he says, hey, Ricky Starks is going to face me in a 2 out of 3 falls match. No man can beat me in 2 out of 3 falls. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen. Ricky Starks instantly wins without even taking his gold chain and stuff like that off yet. He pins Aaron Stevens within seconds. I think it was 5 seconds tops. And then we have a second fall with some good stuff. Starks hitting some good moves. Aaron takes over with a sleeper hold and rear chin lock, that kind of stuff, and hitting some good moves. But in the end, Starks gets a roll up. 1, 2, 3. Second straight fall. Ricky Starks wins. This was good stuff. Stevens looking distraught and all that. And then we get to James Storm with Eli Drake in his corner versus Colt Cabana with Ken Anderson in his corner. NWA National Championship, very good match. Typical TV match, but it was nice that they put the championship on here, and you're like, okay, they're not going to switch it. Once again, I know that these tapings happened a while ago, and that they're just releasing them episodically until they get to the pay-per-view. It's smart, it's a way to save costs and all that. But also, I didn't know they actually switched a title here. I know they switched one title, or at least I believe they did, but I'm not going to spoil that for you just in case. This, however, was pretty well wrestled. Some good near falls. You had at one point where Eli Drake was standing up, on the apron, hey, that was a 3 count after the Eye of the Storm that James Storm hit. And no, that it's the ref's no, that wasn't the case. Mr. Anderson comes down, or, comes around and talks to Eli Drake and getting in his face and everything. But suddenly, Camille, boy, very statuesque and very powerful, hits Eli Drake, shoves him, gets in Anderson's face. But soon after, Superman pin 1, 2, 3, and Colt Cabana, new NWA, national champion. Good stuff. James Storm's yeah, I had you beat, but I'll get you next time. Okay, good stuff. The Dawsons come out and they want the match. They want the match with Kingston and Homicide, and they get the match. It is mainly a brawl. The tag champs do show up. At one point, one of the Dawsons gets knocked down on the tag champs, Latimer and Isaacs. And then they interfere. They try interfering while the referee's distracted, though the referee's distracted for an awfully long time. And then the Rock and Roll Express show up. They show up all of a sudden and just start beating the shit out of the Wildcard. And Wildcard decides to leave. It's we're going to leave. We don't want to get arrested for beating up the elderly. I kid. I love the Rock and Roll Express. One of the greatest tag teams of all time. And soon after, Gringo Cutter, 1, 2, 3. So Kingston and Homicide keep their title shot. And there we go. So this was actually a pretty good episode. I'm going to give it a B. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. If there isn't a poll up there, please let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.